Hola amigos y amigas, you are now with Jocelyn. Y como siempre, as always, I am so grateful that you are here, that you aligned with one of my videos, with my channel. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being here, for investing in my beginning as a up-and-coming YouTuber and still exploring different ways to expand my content, to share my journey. I thank you so much, and I love that you are here visiting my weekly energy reading, especially for those of you that already have grown accustomed to looking forward to these every weekend. I look forward to channeling these messages for you. And for those of you that are new here, welcome to this growing community. I am hoping that you resonate, all of you watching resonate with this reading. The intention of this reading is for us to best understand what energy we are stepping into in the week ahead and how we can best navigate those energies. So this is very much so an affirmational energy reading. This is very much so a higher self energy reading. And I'm just so honored to channel these messages. So let's go ahead and get into it. For those of you that are new, I do drop this energy reading every Sunday. So if you like this video, make sure to subscribe. And yeah, so you don't miss out on any of my videos that I drop every week. Okay, let's get into this, see what's going on in this week ahead. I currently feel just so calm. I definitely had like a mini crying sesh not long before this, before I took a shower, so I feel very cleansed. Just so much releasing going on, right? I mean, we just transitioned out of experiencing the second eclipse that we've had, the solar eclipse in Gemini. And we're also still in retrograde, so a lot of shifts going on in our lives. So I'm really excited to see what our angels, ancestors, spirit guides, the universe, the sacred ones have to share with us. So what is the overall energy for the week ahead? What is the overall energy for the week ahead? What is the overall energy what is the overall energy for the week ahead? Okay, so speaking of releasing, we have the autumn card. So very much so autumn energy, even though we're not necessarily in autumn, we're just about to go into the season of summer. But there is a lot of shedding and releasing going on in our own personal lives, in the collective. A lot of releasing the old. And I feel like a lot of us may underestimate just how much energy it takes to release, and how important it is to not only do the releasing, but also do the replenishing. And this week, it looks like, is the week to continue to allow the releases to take place, but also place some energy and attention on resting, allowing ourselves to rest. So if you have been feeling called to rest, whatever rest looks like for you, if rest looks like sharing space with good friends, if rest looks like just sharing space with yourself in solitude, if rest looks like binging a show, if rest looks like silence, discover your rest and gift yourself that this week, every single day. Rest is not a luxury, okay? Rest is your divine right. It's your birthright, okay? We also got the hunter. So not only are we in the midst of this personal autumn energy of releasing, but we're also going to be embodying, or are encouraged to embody, the hunter energy of tracking down our fears and our desires, to get really clear on what our fears are and what our desires are. Are you really keeping it real with yourself? This is something that has been coming up for me, is like just being completely honest with myself, being very, very blunt and honest with ourselves, and being very accepting of where it is that we are in our lives currently, gracefully accepting where it is that we are, acknowledging our fears, and revisiting our desires. I think another thing that we may underestimate when it comes to our transformations and our self-evolution and the releasing seasons of our lives is making sure that after we release, after we transform, and we feel ourselves coming into this period of like, okay, it looks like a lot of the major shedding and releasing is kind of coming to an end. Like we went through the hardest parts and now we're like in that period of transition of like really settling in and resting, right? It's important for us to revisit our desires and also revisit our fears. Like now that we are embodying this new self, now that we feel new resonances of ourselves, now that we reflect new reflections, what are our desires now? What are our fears now as this new version of ourselves that is emerging, that is here, that we are beginning to feel, to embody, to welcome, to call in? What are our fears and what are our desires? So make sure to be revisiting what it is that you are afraid of in this moment. And what is it that you desire? Have any of your desires changed? Have any of your fears changed? So, yeah, let's continue to unfold this reading and see what's going on. Should any obstacles arise this week, any challenges, what energy do you recommend that we align with? Universe, angels, ancestors, spirit guides, what energy do you recommend that we align with? Should any challenges arise this week? Any obstacles? Any doubts? Okay. So we got wisdom. We got wisdom. And on the note of us emerging into this new self, we're also emerging into a new self that has a lot of wisdom. What are the lessons that you have learned? If you haven't granted yourself the time to really sit down and think about that, what did I learn in this past season or the past few seasons of my life? What are the lessons that I want to bring with me and not forget in these new seasons of my life? Because it is so important that as we walk into new cycles, we are walking in with the lessons that we learned. Because the only reason why we are walking into a new cycle to begin with is because the universe, our angels, ancestors, spirit guides acknowledged that we finally learned that lesson and we're ready for new ones. And we do not want to forget everything that we've overcome, everything that we've been through, everything that we've learned. So gift yourself that this week. Remind yourself, wow, I am so much wiser now. You have wisdom. You have wisdom. This past season of your life gave you wisdom. The past few seasons, your whole life up until this point has been giving you wisdom. You are a wise person. And I know for a fact that, the simple fact that you are watching a video like this, an energy reading, you are someone that is invested in their spiritual development and journey. You are someone that is invested in their healing. You are wise. You are a wise one. So should any challenges arise this week, tap into the wisdom that you have. And also tap into solitude. So if you've been watching some of the past few energy readings, the standstill card, the energy of stillness was coming up a lot. And I think that also is kind of coming up a bit in this reading with, the the theme of resting, and also this theme of solitude. And a lot of the times, the way that we tap into our wisdom is by giving ourselves the space to be alone with ourselves, to be alone with our thoughts, with our being, with our breath. Really sitting with ourselves. Getting rid of the junk, getting rid of the chatter, tuning into silence, into our breath, and connecting with our inner knowing, with our intuition, with our being, with our soul. So should any challenges arise, should any doubts, any fears, as you reflect, as you embody the hunter, tracking down your fears and your desires, should any doubts, any challenges, any obstacles, anything like that come up, be like, okay, I need some solitude right now. I need to go be with a tree. I need to go just be in my room, just be on my bed, just sit alone for a second, go for a walk by myself, clear my mind, still my mind, really tune in. Okay, what should we focus on healing? What should we focus on healing this week? What should we focus on healing this week? Oh, what should we focus? Interesting. Okay. I always find it so interesting when cards come up again, week after week. This time around, we got the psychic development card again. And I believe that this card showed up last week as something that we need to focus on healing. And the way that I see it is, it's not necessarily, it could be, what is your relationship with the thought of psychics? What is your relationship with the thought of spiritualism, with the thought of connecting with your ancestors? Like, where in your stage of spirituality and spiritual development and spiritual attunement and intunement are you? Are you still kind of straying away from are psychics even real? Like, is that even a thing? Is telepathy real? What do you really believe in when it comes to spirit? Is there some healing that needs to be done there for you to really fully tap into your gifts? Because we're all psychic. We all have spiritual gifts. We all have the ability to tune into spirit, to tap in. We all have some kind of spiritual gift in us. We were all born with it. We're all spiritual beings, okay? So perhaps there's some healing that needs to be done there for you to really tap into that. And one way you're going to tap into that is by doing all the things that we've already talked about in this reading. I really feel like at this time, as a collective, as individuals, the universe is the reason why the collective is really going through a huge transformation at this time is because Mother Earth, the universe is rebalancing itself. We are being rebalanced right now. A lot of things were out of balance. That's why you'll see a lot of dismantling in the government, in countries, in communities, in our own lives, because a lot of things were out of balance. And right now, I really feel like we're all being called to really sit with ourselves and be very clear on our desires, be very clear on our gifts, to really tap into who we truly are. That's why we're going to be experiencing all these shifts in our lives, because we're being realigned, we're being rebalanced, all of us. And we're really being encouraged to acknowledge these spiritual gifts that we've been given. And also to really trust in the divine, to really trust divine timing. I don't know if you have felt rushed, if you have felt frustrated. Perhaps you've been working on some things and they're not coming to fruition as quickly as you thought. Or you are in a part of your journey where you kind of feel like things are delayed and you're becoming frustrated, or you're becoming full of doubt or worry. Trust in the divine. Trust in divine timing. So much comes into play that is out of your perspective, that you don't see right in front of you. So much is in the works to align you to your desires and to the things that you're working on manifesting. Trust in the divine, trust in divine timing, and trust that when you set intentions, when you speak, when you pray, when you write, when you are consistently doing the work, when that intention to better your life is there, when that intention to bring an idea to life is there, trust that even if the world in front of you or the world around you doesn't see it or acknowledge it, the divine does. The divine heard you. The divine is listening to you always. The divine feels you and your intentions. And as soon as you set that intention, as soon as you start working on that thing, as soon as you invest your time and energy into bringing something into life, especially if it's something for the goodness of yourself and others, oh, the universe loves that. Anything done out of love, out of passion, especially at this time, because we are all being rebalanced and all being encouraged to tap back into our true selves. If you are doing the work to get there, to be there, to fully be your most authentic self, it's all going to work out. It is all going to work out, and you have to trust that. You have to trust divine timing. And I'm also speaking for myself. Wow. So sometimes when I cleanse, because before I do readings, I cleanse my home, I cleanse myself, I cleanse the decks. And sometimes when I'm shuffling the decks and in the midst of cleansing them, they'll speak to me like I'm already channeling as soon as I connect to them. And this card that just came out, by the way, I have the window open. I don't edit this video, so if you hear any noises, I apologize. But we're going to allow life to happen around us, and we're still centered in this reading, in this channel, so it's all good. But this card that just came out is a card that came out and really wanted to be seen while I was doing my thing before this reading. So beautiful. I'm so grateful. So grateful for the divine. So grateful that we are divinely guided and divinely supported. And the fact that you are here, tells me that you are opening yourself up to receive messages, to receive signs, and you're open to it, or at least you're trying to, and maybe you don't fully understand how all of it works, but we don't have to understand how all of it works. It's miraculous, just like we are. Like, what are the odds that we're alive right now? That we are living on this planet, and it is spinning, and it is at a certain degree specifically for us to be able to be alive, for life to be on Earth. We are at a very specific distance from the sun and other planets it's all miraculous. And there are simply things that our human mind may not understand. But I'm just grateful that the affirmations, that the guidance, that the love, the support, the unconditional love and support is there. And sometimes all we need is some solitude to tap into that. Sometimes all we need is to really confront ourselves and be real with our fears, be real with our desires. That's what I did this morning. That's why I had like a little crying sesh, because I got really real with myself. And sometimes we just need rest. You know, it's hard to tap into your gifts and be your most authentic, purest, most rejuvenated, most uplifted. It's hard to be your highest potential when you're exhausted. It's so important to rest, and I'm so glad that we're becoming more aware of that as a society, you know? Okay. What should we surrender? What should we focus on surrendering this week? What should we focus on surrendering this week? What should we focus on surrendering? Beautiful. So the card that came out twice for me is surrender to miracles. Like I just said, and I just mentioned, the miraculousness of life, the miraculousness that is life, the miracle that we are, the miracle that you are alive right now in this moment, that every single day of your life up until this point, you've been alive, you've been experiencing being you, being human, being on this planet. That's a miracle. It is a miracle. Like, what are the odds, you know, that you were born? Like, if you really think about it. And so the simple fact that you yourself are a miracle is proof that miracles happen. Be open to miracles occurring in your life. Feel and know that these events are real. Let go of any resistance and banish any doubt that miracles can happen. So again, if you have been frustrated, you know, if you have, you know, needed to remind yourself to trust in divine timing, if you have been feeling worry or doubt or fear in any way, shape, or form, miracles happen, y'all. And remind yourself that. Affirm to yourself every single day that you welcome miracles in your life. That today a miracle will happen. And if you really truly believe that, the more that you affirm things, like sometimes affirmations can be kind of weird, you know, doing it at first, because it's like you might not fully believe what you're affirming. But if you repeat it, if you consistently do it over and over again, and you genuinely try to speak life into what it is that you're affirming. So you're not just saying like, I'm manifesting miracles in my life. Instead, you're saying, I am manifesting miracles in my life. Every single day a miracle occurs. The simple fact that I wake up every single day, that is already a miracle. I experience miracles every single day of my life, and I am so grateful. Speak life into your words. Your words already have life in them. But if you really energize them with feeling, with emotion, you are in the process of alchemizing, you know? You are in the process of uplifting your vibration to match, you know, what it is that you're saying. We're also being called to surrender to our intuition. Again, as I've mentioned in probably every energy reading, is how important connecting to our intuition is, especially this year. As we continue to experience these transitions and transformations, as the collective and the planet and the world and the communities around us and our own lives continue to shift and change, we really need to make sure that we are in tune with ourselves. That we don't really depend on external circumstances to make us feel aligned. We know that we are. To be so grounded and so centered in ourselves, that is just so important. So surrender to your intuition. Tune into your inner voice. Be aware of any gut feelings, flashes, knowings, or aha moments that come through to guide you. So sometimes, you know, when we're praying for a sign, when we're asking for a sign, sometimes the sign comes to us through an idea. Sometimes it comes to us through a conversation. Sometimes it comes to us while we're on a walk. You know, like something that is important for us, you know, to be aware of and to practice is that, you know, if you're going to be asking for signs, you have to make sure that you are open and available to receive them. So if you're asking for a sign, you know, if you're asking the universe to give you a sign and you're just in your room all day, not really doing anything, you know, open yourself up. Go for a walk outside. Allow the universe to surprise you with a feather on the ground, or, you know, go read a book and maybe you'll stumble upon a sentence, or dive into a documentary, or, you know, like, put yourself out there with the intention to welcome these miracles. Put yourself out there, open yourself up with the intention to connect to your intuition, to know what it is that you're being guided to. And I should probably at this point just do a video, you know, helping recommend some ways that help you connect with your intuition. But listening to your body is one of the major ways to do so. And really feeling your feelings. Your body's always communicating with you. Your feelings are always letting you know what's up. So surrender to your intuition this week. As soon as a worry, a doubt, a fear creeps into your mind, go into solitude. Tap into the wisdom that you've gained through these seasons of your life. Do some releasing. Affirm the releasing. Continue to release and rest as needed. If you're feeling restless, give yourself rest. And I think we're really being called to track down our fears and desires, because growth begins with awareness. You can't dismantle something, you can't release something, you can't welcome something if you're not aware of what that something is. We have to be aware. And the more aware we are of every single detail, the more specific we are in our awareness, the better. So yeah, as soon as any thought, action, pattern, whatever the case may be, comes up this week, surrender to your intuition. And that will help you heal your psychic development, because it's in you, you know? The best person to heal you is yourself. The best person to guide you is yourself. The best person to give you advice, the best person to let you know what you shouldn't do is you. Because nobody on this world knows you like you do. Okay, let's get into these affirmations. What are our affirmations for this week? What are affirmations for this week? What are our affirmations for this week? One more. What are our affirmations for this week? Okay. Let's see. I begin now, today, to open myself to ever-increasing prosperity. My income is constantly increasing. My income is constantly increasing. So we can be prosperous in many different aspects of our lives, not just money. And my income is constantly increasing. That could be income in happiness. That can be income in money. That can be income in friendship. That can be income in healing. That can be income in prosperity. That can be income in adventure. So let's affirm that in our lives right now. Repeat it with me. My income is constantly increasing. Yes. We also have the point of power is always in the present moment. Affirm that with me. The point of power is always in the present moment. You are your most powerful when you are present. not when you are attached to the past, not when you're fixated on the future, when you are genuinely rooted in the present moment. That is when you are most powerful. Because how is it that we shape the future? When is it that we shape the future? Right now. So, the past is over and done and has no power over me. I can begin to be free in this moment. Today's thoughts create my future. I am in charge. I now take my own power back. I am safe and I am free. Yes, you are safe. You are free. You are taking your power back by being in the present moment. So practice being present as much as possible this week, and really every week, every single day. Remind yourself, whew, all right, you know, I'm fixated on the future. Let me tune into my breath, because your breath is always in the present moment. So your breath can immediately bring you to the present moment if you're struggling to get there. Take a deep breath. All right. We're here. We're back in the now. Thank you so much for bringing me into your present moment. I am so grateful. I hope that one or more of these messages resonated with you. And if not in this moment, perhaps revisit it in the middle of the week and see if you resonate with one or more of these messages then. As always, I'm going to provide some timestamps in the description below so that in the case that you want to revisit a specific card, it is easier to navigate. I am so grateful again for you being here, for your presence, for your investment in yourself, for your healing, for your efforts to be a better person. Thank you so much. If no one has told you, from the bottom of my heart, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so grateful for you. Thank you. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, join my growing community, and yeah, I will see you in my next video. Let's have an amazing, beautiful week. Bye, everyone.